Here we're going to talk about how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide complex numbers. But for the 5.4a, I believe, wait a second here. Yeah, we are just talking about adding and subtracting. Okay, a complex number is where you have a real part and an imaginary part. Okay, so you can see that A is the real part and B is your imaginary part. When you're writing them, you should always write the real part first, then the imaginary part. Okay? If you are graphing these, and I'm actually going to have you graph some of them because they're going to ask you to do that in your homework. On your coordinate plane, it goes real is on the right and left, and your imaginary part goes on the up and down. So, on example 1, can this be simplified? Because I can add 8 plus 5 together, which makes what? 13. That's my real part done. And then I have a negative I and a positive 4i, which makes a positive 3i. And there's my answer.
Wait, that's all? That's seriously it.
Yes.
Oh my god.
I know. How would you graph it? Anybody have an idea?
Go up 3, go up 3.
Right. So I'm going to go to the right 13, and I would just mark 13. And then you're going up 3. 1, 2, 3. And there's your point. It's been graphed.
Oh my gosh, that is something.
I know. Hopefully you guys won't get these wrong. Okay. Example 2. Again, it's still adding. So I would end up getting what?
15 plus 1.
That is correct. 7 plus 8 is 15. Negative 8 and a positive 9 makes a positive 1i, which we would just write as I. And that's my answer. If you're plotting it, where would you go? 15 right and up 1. Okay, what's different about example 3? Good, and when you subtract, that means you have to. So we end up getting a negative 3 and a positive 7i. Notice how I distributed the negative and then rewrote it so it's matching up with the like terms in the first parenthesis. You don't have to do it that way. I just think it's easier. And then I have 7 minus 3, which is 4, and negative 6i, and 7i makes plus an I. There's your answer. Okay? And lastly, example 4. Again, what do we have to do first? Good. We distribute the negative. We get a negative 3. Distribute the negative. I get a positive 2i. And what happens there? And we end up with, how would you graph that one? Good. Just negative 8 left, and you'd make a point right there because it doesn't go up or down at all.
That was so hard.